some angel numbers. It's good. It's always interesting when they end up being the triple numbers. Because in this book, let me see the context. So, let's see here. Oops, sorry, 1 second. Yeah, these repeated angel numbers are always interesting to read. So we have first 444, key words. Try again, divinely protected, take a class. Meanings. If you've given up on a certain hobby or career because of earlier disappointments or failures, your spirit team is encouraging you to try again. It's not too late to fulfill your dreams. Sometimes you have to go through failure to learn what not to do in the future. You might also be receiving a message of divine protection. Perhaps you've been involved in an abusive relationship, or you simply fear the situation you find yourself in. Your angels want you to know that you are divinely protected and that you should seek freedom from the situation. Also, if you've been toying with the idea of taking up a new skill, let this be confirmation to go for it. Your angels always support you in endeavors that stretch you. Sign up for a class today. Yeah. So if you're feeling like something that you were doing, hello, thank you for joining. Oh, okay. So if you feel like you were doing something that wasn't really going, it's okay. I know I recently had to acknowledge that myself the other day. And not only like not letting the stress take over, because I know there are other things I can be grateful for, but also, like it says, to know that you are divinely protected, and it's literally just setting you free from the situation that you feel is keeping you down. Whatever way that is. Take it as it resonates. And also you have this opportunity to take a class, to learn something new, to help you gain some new ideas or perspectives on something. Excuse me. And sorry. There we go. Sorry, I had to wait for that to come out. Yeah, but basically it's good, it's positive. You might see you repeating 444. I know I have this week. Like I said, it's okay to feel like you may be failing in one aspect, but you also have the skill and ability to start another thing, do another thing another way. Or even the same thing, but in a different way. That is more practical for you and more functional for you. And through the whole process, you know, if you're doing things for yourself in the upright, you are going to be guided and protected the whole time. It might be frustrating not seeing the results at times, but you also have to trust the process, right? Everything that we do in life is a process. We can't have everything so snappy. We have to also enjoy when we do have the downtime to process even our own emotions. How are we feeling right now? What do we feel like we need right now? What does that look like? You know, and everybody's situation is different. But it's just giving you the opportunity to. I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday, and she was kind of saying like how it's really hard not to beat up on herself when things they would like to do don't go the way, like having the capability and knowing you have the capability of doing something, but for some reason you just aren't able to execute it. And I understand that. I understand that completely. It's really easy for us to dwell on what we can't do or change in the moment when we feel like it needs to happen, like right now. But that also tells us that we need to slow down and assess things for what they are and not for what they want, not for what we want them to be, right? It can be annoying, it can be frustrating, it can feel defeating, but it's really just giving us a moment to pause and really look at what we're doing from a different perspective, whatever that may be. You feel like you're not doing enough, know that you are in some aspect of your life. You feel like you're not achieving enough, know that you are in some aspect of your life. You feel like you're not, I don't know, you feel like you're not showing up enough, know that you are in the capacity that you have the ability to. And really just not to be hard on yourself. What you said is, I feel like I'm kicking my own teeth in. And yeah, I can totally understand. It's really easy for us as people to hate on ourselves. Sometimes even harder than people who hate on us, who feel like they are doing better than us when they see us down, going through these moments of like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I'm failing, I feel like I'm not achieving, I feel like I'm not doing. And it honestly will reveal to you people's like true intentions and colors when you go through these moments, right? Like who will be picking on you, who will be like, see, I told you that you couldn't, or I told you that it was a bad idea, or I told you like, and it's like, okay, so like you didn't really have my support during this kind of moment. You just decided to engage in a way, excuse me, Nugget. You decided to engage in a way that was to monitor my progress, thinking that if I'm at a down and out moment now, that'll be the result for everything later. And to that I just say, let these people think whatever they want, because it's their own opinion on their perspective and it has nothing to do with you. They might want to be involved, but they're literally not involved kind of energy. Whether it's your family that, you know, kind of craps on your ideas, whether it's your spouse or your friends that, you know, don't really give you the proper support while you are trying to deal with something, or you're feeling frustrated about something. And it might feel lonely at times, you know, just trying to deal with those emotions of failure. But that's why you're being asked to just try again. Try again, dust yourself off and try again. Dust yourself off and try again. And now during this time, whatever time you may be going through, my goodness, that you are divinely protected and you are looked after. And I think the biggest thing is not to question the reasoning of what happens and why it happens. I think it's just because we can do that all day, every day. We can go, why do I have to go through this in order to receive that? Why do I have to deal with this in order to get that? Sometimes it literally is just the divine showing you what you have to shed away emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever it may be, so you can understand, hey, you did this thing, you put your effort into it, it's okay if it didn't work out, now let's try something different, let's try something new. Take that class that you wanted to take that lesson that you always been talking about doing. You have the ability and you have the capability to do so, but you've been so focused on this one thing that we kind of have to show you something different now. And sometimes by doing that, it is by it is by failure. Like I said, it doesn't mean that the craft that you're doing or the hobby that you have, with the earlier disappointments of failure, you're being encouraged to try again. It doesn't mean give up on what it is that you're trying to do. It just means you have to say, hey, maybe the way I'm going about this isn't exactly how I need to go about it. And maybe I just need to sit and go with the flow, right? And it's a beautiful thing. Just give yourself that grace. Give yourself the proper opportunity. Excuse me, Nugget. You guys. Give yourself the proper opportunity to see the results you want to see, but but take your time doing it. Excuse me, boy. Can you come here? Come here. Thank you. My goodness. Yeah. You might be getting a little distracted, considering that both of my cats want to be in front of the camera right now. You might be getting a little distracted, and that's understandable. It's a holiday time. A lot of people might want your attention around this time. Whether to get in your good graces because it's the holiday or just to check on you. And you know, not everybody has ill intent when they do these things, but with them not being aware of how you're feeling currently, or really picking up the energy because they're so distracted about what's going on the outside, that you kind of do feel like you just want a little bit of space. That you want, and you probably want space more than you want understanding. And I understand that completely. Because it's not like you need people to understand why you're doing what you're doing. You just want them to understand why you feel how you feel. Does that make sense? And everybody deserves it. Everybody deserves to be empathized with to an extent. Everybody deserves to be heard and seen to an as far as people are willing to see them. You know, I think when I was having a conversation with my friend yesterday, like a lot of things we don't realize have become so utterly surface level, and then when we want to get deeper, everybody's like, it's not that deep, it's not that serious, it's da 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 da. But then you're just blatantly not acknowledging these people's feelings or wants or needs, because you kept saying it wasn't that deep, and then people end up having depression issues, anxiety issues, or trust issues because you're blatantly saying that your feelings didn't matter when you felt like this, and because your feelings didn't matter when you felt like that, that now you have to compensate in a way that makes you feel like you have to overdo or outdo what you already felt, and you're putting on that mask in order to please other people around you because they said you're fine, nothing's wrong, you know, you're not going through anything serious, it's not that deep. But in reality it is. You're feeling like you are misplaced, you're feeling like you're being misunderstood, you're feeling like you're not being seen the way you want to be seen. And I'll just say most of it doesn't have to do anything with you. It has to do everything with the people around you. Because I feel like sometimes people can easily feed into people's realities, but they're not really seeing what's happening to them internally. And that can get very dangerous, right? Toxic positivity, where you're constantly encouraging someone to do, or you're fine, it's okay. And sometimes it's literally okay to say, hey, you know what, I'm not okay. It's not okay. I'm not fine. It's not fine. Like, I feel like I'm failing. It's okay to say those things, but it doesn't mean that you are defeated, right? It doesn't mean that everything is ending. It may feel like that, but it doesn't make it it doesn't make it the true reality, right? But it is easy to slip into those thoughts of, well, I'll never be better than this. I'll never be able to accomplish this. I'll never be able to have that. And it's like you're just speaking what you don't want into your life, into existence, by saying these things to yourself. Because you've convinced yourself, because no one around you has convinced you, you've convinced yourself that what you have is what you deserve, and trying to reach for more than that is unrealistic. It's not. It's not. And that's where I say you have to give yourself grace and say you are allowed to dream and want for more. And at the same time, it's okay to fail if you're not getting it right then and there. But it doesn't mean it's impossible to have, ever. You just have to go about it a different kind of way, right? And you're being encouraged to do so. You're being encouraged to do so. So the affirmation for this one is, I am divinely protected. Yes, and you can repeat that to yourself as many times as you need to really give yourself that reassurance. Whoever you may believe in, even if it is just yourself, your higher self, your ancestors, whoever it is that you resonate with when it comes to helping you pull yourself out of your struggles. And I don't mean on some delusional stuff. I mean like genuinely, like you are trying to show up as a person you know you are, but you feel like you cannot for a certain reason or whatever it may be. Give yourself the grace that you need and take a second and say, hey, what can I do for myself right now? Not even for anyone else. What can I do for myself? Because maybe that's also what it is. Maybe you feel like you're showing up for multiple people, doing multiple things, trying to do and be multiple ways of yourself, but you're not giving enough to yourself, so you feel lost in the mix of everyone else. and to be honest, some people, like I said, are surface level and don't pay attention that well to understand how deep these things can be and how hindering they can be towards your growth. You're allowed to expand yourself as far as you need to be and as far as you feel like you can go. But when you have these limiting beliefs on you, when you have these pressures on you, these expectations on you of who you should be versus who you want to be, it can be very complicated for you. Because like I said, you may be showing up to people as a certain way, keeping them happy, right? But in reality, you may not be completely happy with the results of how things are going. And that isn't necessarily because of the people, it's because you've been masking about what you need and want and how you feel like you want to be represented or seen or heard. And like I said, it's not necessarily people's fault around you, it's just that they're not looking into it as deeply as you want them to feel it. And you know, like it says right here, perhaps you've been involved in an abusive relationship or simply fear the situation you find yourself in. Your angels want you to know that you are divinely protected as the affirmation says, and you should seek freedom from the situation. So yeah, if you're feeling trapped, whatever it may be, thank you. If you're feeling trapped in whatever it may be, you have the ability to let it go, so you can release yourself from feeling this failure, from feeling this doubt, from feeling these fears, in order to progress into the person that you know you are, that you are. I keep saying can be, but you already are this person. You already are the person you feel like you need to live up to. You're just not completely seeing it because you're not receiving said results or praise or whatever it may be from these people, places, or things, thinking that's what will validate your experience with yourself. And you need to know that the only person that needs to validate your experience is you. You don't need people to acknowledge your experience. You need to acknowledge it yourself. You need to be open enough with yourself and say, hey, no matter what it may look like to other people, I know that I may be struggling. I know that I have been out of a situation that I didn't expect myself to be in. But right now, I know I can find a way to push through it, to get through it, and understand that it may feel like a failure, but it does not mean it will hinder my success. Sometimes I'd be talking, I'm like, to myself. But yeah, I hope that helps you a little bit be easier on yourself and can generate that grace that you need for yourself, because you deserve it. You deserve to have grace, because we're working as hard as we can, I feel, every day to be someone who we even like, right? Like, it's really hard to like ourselves at times, because we're always with ourselves, and you're literally just being asked to pay attention to yourself a little bit more. Give yourself that grace. Give yourself the opportunity to just be, without having the expectation of being anything other than what is right there in front of you. Right? So, activation 444. To hone the energy of angel number 444, you feel closer to that divine protection. Purchase an angel statue. Place it on your altar or near where you sleep. Having a physical representation of a guardian angel gives you a sense of peace, calm, and protection. Another thing I was talking about with this friend, we were talking about how people pray sometimes in order to get rid of ailments and that. And everybody's like, oh, the power of prayer, the power of prayer. I believe in the power of prayer, but not the way people use it. And that doesn't stand for everyone. Like, you know, I was joking and said, share that on Facebook and talk about the scientific realities, that how sending prayers doesn't necessarily heal the wounds, because the person receiving the prayers isn't in tune enough to receive them. The person who was being prayed on, right, isn't in the mindset to receive them, because they might be in a different mindset. They might feel like it's the end of the world, so they're going to naturally reject the praise and the help and whatever it may be. And it's just a voluntary human response. Like, it's very hard sometimes when you're in that kind of mindset for people to, no, you're okay, you know, we'll pray over you, we'll pray for you, like that, you know, that'll get you through it, da da da. And in reality, that's not necessarily, I feel, how we should be using prayer. I feel like we should be using prayer to connect with our ancestors, our angels, and God, to help us move through whatever it is we need to move through. Because and I'm going to say this, and I don't mean to offend anyone, it is not our job as humans to gift others prayer. It is our job to heal each other while we are praying. Does that make sense? To heal each other while we are praying. If you're giving prayer to someone who is not in the mindset to receive it, then the prayer falls on a deaf ear. And it's not like they're trying to shun you or ignore you. It's they're in the mindset of where they cannot receive it. So one thing I said is when I pray, it is like they said, it's like a daily affirmation. It's for me to understand that I can pray to help me get through this emotion, through this trial of life, through this failure I'm feeling. But if I'm in the mindset or I'm not being able to receive it from other people, that's a sign that I still have healing to do, that I need to change up my mindset. Because if I'm not in the mindset to receive it from other people, how can I receive it for myself? And people pray for very shallow things at times. And like they pray for cars, they pray for money, they pray for giant houses. And those are valid prayers to have and wants and needs, but that's not how God works. He's working through us, for us, you know? And we're doing the same for Him. So if we're being selfish and using our prayer as we think it is, as a tool to outwardly assist, then we're not giving the person the opportunity to do what they need to do for themselves, right? We're not giving the person, it might give them strength, you know, depending on who's seeing it, it might give them strength to, it might give them the strength to move through it. But like I said, if they're not in the mindset to receive it, it's very hard for prayer to hit them like it needs to. And basically what I'm trying to say is it's best to pray for yourself. Thank you, I appreciate that. It's best to pray for yourself and really understand what that means. Really understand what that feels like and really understand why you're doing it. Because if you're receiving it from the outside, and yeah, definitely cozy, for sure. Definitely. Because if you're receiving it from the outside, and again, you're not in the mindset to really take it in, it's not going to hit the way you like it to hit, I should say. But it's always an interesting conversation to have, because as I've grown up and really looked at people, sometimes you can really see what people think their intentions are versus what they versus what they're actually doing, right? People might say, like, oh, I'm praying because that's, you know, I was called to, and I just felt like I had to, and but you're not really taking in consideration of the other person. Did this person ask? Did this person did this person want to receive it at the time that you did this? Like, you know, we really have to understand it has to be a two-way street. Like I said, if they're not in the mindset to receive it, then you're kind of praying on deaf ears. Because they don't have that connection like they would want to with the Most High, and that is something that they have to work on, you know? That's something that they need to do. And sometimes I feel when we do pray over people, it's kind of forcing them to feel like they have to accept it because it's coming from a place of love, right? And I say that within quotes because, like I said, people can have good intentions, but that doesn't always mean it's for the best. Sometimes people need to be left alone with their own thoughts and feelings to really connect with Him. And that's when I feel like that's when prayer starts, is when you are connecting with yourself, to connect with Him, to connect with your spirit guides, to really feel within the depths of yourself, to say, hey, what do I need right now? What does that look like? How can I move through these feelings of doubt and fear of not receiving what I need when I need it? And He'll give answers, angel numbers. He'll give signs through, whatever you may be looking at every day, whatever you may be doing every day. And you just really have to listen. That's what's tap in and vibe. You really have to listen to what He's trying to tell you. And sometimes prayer can be interceptive and say, well, these people have prayed for you and they want you to have this, or they want you to feel like this, or they want you to be like this because they feel like if you are like this, it will better you. But then you're not listening to yourself, right? You're not giving yourself the opportunity to really, really connect with Him, because you're not leaning on Him. You're leaning on other people's prayers, right? And that isn't to say that isn't to say what all I've been saying is that isn't to say that you should not give people prayer who are ready to receive it. You just have to be mindful that it may not always work the way you want it to work for the person because they are not in the mindset to receive it. If you feel called to, I suggest having a conversation with not only God, your higher self and your ancestors and that, but with the person you're praying to. Like, hey, I have this feeling that you might be down, that you might be out, whatever it may be, and I felt called to not only ask you what you may need, but would you be willing to receive prayer? Would you be willing to open up a little bit and really hear what I am being asked to say to you? And if they say no, allow them that space, give them that grace and say, okay, I understand. You are in the mindset of not being able to receive, but know that I do have the intention of, wishing you well, and you can just leave it at that. I think we can be very pushy with the whole giving praise sometimes, giving prayer, especially when it comes to people who we see are going through hard times. Like, oh, I'm praying for you, and oh, I wish you the best. And it's like, that person might be like, thanks, but like, it doesn't really help the problem. You could help me through the problem instead of giving me words. You could stand up for me in some ways I don't feel I stood up for, instead of giving me prayer. Like, really ask the people around you what they need, instead of assuming that if you pray for them, it's confirmation, excuse me, that if you pray for them, it's you meaning well. Sometimes it doesn't always mean that. Sometimes it's you just kind of being selfish in the moment. Well, I know that I'm a person of God, and I know if I give them prayer that they'll be safe. You don't have that kind of power. That's why it says, I'm divinely protected. That is the divine's work. That's what they do. That's why, we're here to give you messages. Like I said, if they're not in the mindset to receive that prayer, it won't connect, basically. And I think people just really need to hear that. Like, again, I'm not saying don't pray for anyone, don't wish anyone well. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, despite the intentions you might have, good or bad, whatever it may be, you do not have the power to grant someone sanctity outside of themselves when they cannot find it within themselves. You don't have the power to relieve them of their burdens unless you are physically getting involved with whatever it may be for them. And I know that could be frustrating to hear for some, but that's the message, really. That sometimes people can be ignorant, especially people, who are religious. We have nothing against them, but sometimes they really think that, if they give you praise and pray for you, it not only lightens their load of their worry for you, which is, again, a selfish thing, because, they feel like, oh, if I give you this and I do this for you, then I don't have to worry about you as much. I don't have to do as much. I don't have to, and it's just like, you should always be doing as much as you can for anyone at any time. But, recognize when you can't. But kind of sounds like I'm rambling a little bit, but basically, I'm just saying, it is okay to pray for each other, but you also need to, be aware of the person you're praying for and really connect with them first. Understand, is that what they want from me? Is that what they need from me at this time? Is that what they are asking for of me? Or are they asking me for support? Are they asking me for an ear? Are they asking me to just sit with them? Because last time I checked, they didn't ask me to pray for them. Last time I checked, they didn't ask me to put my hands over them. They didn't ask me any of that. And you really just have to be mindful. You really have to connect with the person, people, place, or thing that you are putting your energy to and towards. Otherwise, it will just fall on deaf ears, and then you will end up feeling frustrated because you're not seeing the results, being like, well, I did this for you, and I prayed for you, and you're just being ungrateful. And it's like, no. They're not in the mindset to receive it. Because they are going through failure. They are going through loss. They are going through, they're grieving something that they thought would work out. And you just giving them a prayer doesn't always help. And that's okay to acknowledge. Ask them how you can help, instead of just assuming that giving them praise or praying for them will help them through the motions. Alright. And then we also have 555, which has been coming up a lot. We have keywords: upheaval, surrender to the moment, better days ahead. Meanings: this angel number represents a time of upheaval. Though life may be chaotic right now, your angels send you this message to let you know they are with you and will never leave your side. You're not alone while going through tough times. You will always be guided, especially when it's dark. This message also comes to tell you to surrender to what's happening. Sometimes, the harder we fight, the worse it gets. When something is for you, your higher purpose, it's easier to be in the flow with it and trust things will work out. Your angels also want you to know, practically, when times get hard, when times are hard, that better days are ahead. Keep the faith. Yeah. Like I said, if you're trying to pray on, we're not preying on anybody, but somebody might be trying to prey on you, be mindful, because it resonates. In your vulnerable state, right? Oh, I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to do whatever I can for you, you know? And that's great and grand, and their intentions might mean well, but you might not be in the place to receive it. And if you can't get in that place to receive it, they may feel like you're denying them the opportunity to help you. And in reality, you're not. You're realizing, I need to step back. Like I said, the 444 with the failure. I need to step back. I need to assess. Because I am in a space where for some reason I'm not receiving their intentions the right way. I'm not feeling like what they're saying to me is what I need to hear. And that's because it's not coming from you. It's coming from an outside source, which, again, he wants you to connect with you so you can connect with him. So if you're not doing that, of course you're going to feel disconnected when people are trying to aid you or pray for you or help you through something. It's because you're not in the mode of receiving yet. And it's because you're not feeling it. And that's okay. You have to acknowledge what you do feel and understand why you are having a disconnect, why you are having a almost out-of-body experience where you're seeing yourself in a certain light, but then you're also receiving it on the other end where people are seeing you on a different kind of light, and you're not connecting those two as the same person. The person you see versus the person they see are two different people to you. And it can be, it can be frustrating, right? It can be frustrating to feel so disconnected from yourself, but then have people come around you and tell you who you're supposed to be, how you should feel, thank you, etc., etc. And you just have to acknowledge, like, hey, I can appreciate your intentions, I can appreciate your support, I can appreciate these things, but if I'm not in the mindset to receive it at the time, then it just falls onto deaf ears. It doesn't mean that I am trying to negate your help, trying to negate your well-being or your intentions. It just means that I recognize with the chaos going on with myself, I am not in the mode to receive what I need to receive. And that has nothing to do with you. Yeah, thank you. Same to you. Has nothing to do with you. Has nothing to do with anybody else outside of me. It literally is just me telling myself and acknowledging with myself that I need to take a minute and really dive deep and connect with myself to understand the issues that I need to work through. Like it says, when something is for your higher purpose, it is easier to be in the flow with it and trust that things will work out. Yeah. It says you're not alone while going through tough times. Because you're not. It's just you may feel alone when people are kind of pushing too much on you to be well. Oh yeah. Good morning. Yeah, it can be a lot, and it can be overwhelming, right? Because like I said, it's not like you're trying to shut anyone out. It just, you're recognizing, like, I need a little bit of space. I need a little bit of time to really, like, understand what I'm receiving is what I'm meant to receive. But at the same time, like, I can't keep getting it from the outside of me. I have to be able to give it to myself as well. Like, I feel great that, you know, you see me in this light, that you see me as this person that has it all together, or whatever it may be. But sometimes I feel like I am not that person. Sometimes I feel like I am having to do the most in order to just be that person, because that's who you expect me to be all the time. You know, this could be like a conversation you could be having with someone, and they might not be understanding. Oh, well, you never look like you struggle. You never look like you go through anything. You never look like. And then, again, it's because people are seeing the surface level of you. They're not seeing the depths of you. And that it can be frustrating. It can be sometimes it can honestly feel like it's patronizing a little bit. And again, that's not their intention, right? But it's they're not being in tune enough with you to really hear or feel what you're saying or doing. Like, it is okay to 444 try again, and know with 555 to surrender to the moment, because better days are ahead. Hello. And most of the time excuse me, and most of the time, the only way you can really realize that is when you do it by yourself, when you do it without any help, when you do it alone, when you do it without support, when you really pull through those moments of failure, that you can understand why you have to succeed through that, why you have to push through that. But if you're always having someone there holding your hand and being your physical guide when you need a spiritual guide, is exactly why it may not work out, why you may feel like you're failing, why you may feel like you have to try again. But you're being asked, like I said, take a class, take a lesson. And it could just be a spiritual lesson, it could be a physical lesson, it could be an emotional lesson, whatever it may be, a mental lesson. But a lot of the times, doing self-work literally means you have to do it by yourself. You have to engage with yourself by yourself. And if you're having people constantly surround you or constantly pray for you, then that you're getting their energy and that you're not receiving any of your own energy to recognize what is yours and what is theirs. And that's why it can be frustrating, because as soon as these people do their own thing, or take care of their own needs, it may feel like you don't have anything left, like you feel drained. And it's because you haven't been relying on yourself. You haven't been looking into yourself and saying, what can I do for myself that'll help me through this situation, that'll help me through these emotions, that'll help me? What can I do for me? Instead of being so reliant on receiving from other people, whether again you're asking for it or not. And what it really looks like when you do rely on yourself enough to gain the knowledge and the power and the strength and the ability to show how capable you can be on your own. Like, independence has been coming up a lot this week. And I know, again, around the holidays, it's very easy for us as people just to cater to each other. But we're kind of being asked to give to ourselves, indulge in ourselves with ourselves before we can really give to other people, right? Otherwise, you're kind of just giving out empty bags of energy. It's like, yeah, here I have this giant sack for you that is full of all my good intentions and all my love and all my prayers. But it might be half full because I didn't want to give you everything I have because I need some for me. You're allowed to give as much or give as little as you want to. You don't have to overgive right now, is basically what I'm trying to say. Just a long-winded way to say you are okay not to give everything away right now. You have to also be in the mode to receive what you are allowed to receive. And know that people who may claim to have good intentions doesn't mean they don't. It just means that you can't rely on just receiving that from the outside of you when you have not gone within yourself to receive anything from yourself first. I hope that makes sense. But better days are ahead. 444, I'm divinely protected. 555, the affirmation for that is, I trust that all things are working in my favor. Yeah. Like I said, you might be overwhelmed with how you're feeling, what you're going through. Like it says, through life may be chaotic right now. Or though life may be chaotic right now, your angels send you this message to let you know they are there with you and will never leave your side. You really have to rely on them, your angels and your guides, before you rely on man. Because man can only do so much, right? We, as human beings, we are only capable of so much, but that doesn't mean we're powerless. It just means that we have to be reliant on ourselves a little bit more around this time of year. Because, well, I shouldn't say this time of year, in general, we have to be more reliant on ourselves in general. We're so quick to pick up the phone and, you know, have our problems solved on the outside of us, when in reality we need to solve it on the inside of us. It's okay to obviously reach out when you need to reach out to someone and ask for advice and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's their opinion of your experience. It's not them having your experience and they know how to solve it, right? Because you're not them and they're not you. They can give you recommendations, they can give you their opinions, they can give you advice. Excuse me. Just like, you know, just like us, your readers and your messengers. But we don't do it with the intention of you have to follow this way, otherwise this and that will happen. No, it's literally just listen to yourself, what you need, and what that feels and looks like. I don't know you, and you know, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to not to get to know you or want to not connect with you. It just means that you might not be in the space to do that. You might not be in the mindset to receive that kind of love, and that's okay to acknowledge. But then you may be doing yourself a disservice by not engaging, by not being open, by not being vulnerable with someone who resonates with you, with someone who sees and hears you the way that you feel like is productive for your growth. Hold on. Don't fall, please. Okay. Hello. Sorry, I had to do that little puzzle thing to keep going. But yeah. Basically, what I'm trying to say is you have to switch up your mindset in order to receive the things that you want to receive. And yes, it might feel like you're currently failing because you're not receiving the results you thought you would. And with that, also be mindful of who, cast a hand over you to pray for you, because even though they feel like they have good intentions, in reality they're just pushing their energy on you to kind of force you to, I shouldn't say force, kind of being like, be well, be well, be well. And that's great and all, but you're literally just being asked to tear yourself from the inside out, to tell yourself and recognize with yourself that you are well and you will be well. It has nothing to do with outside of you. Like, don't let your environment affect your well-being to the point where you feel stunted and can't move along with the things that you feel like you need to grow from. Activation. Whenever life becomes overwhelming, try this technique for a better perspective on things. Take a sheet of paper and divide it into 3 columns, each with a 5 at the top. Under the first column, write down 5 issues you are struggling with. Beneath the second column, write down 5 things you are grateful for. In the third column, write down 5 ways your issues can be resolved in your favor. This allows your mind to see solutions instead of problems. Exactly. Like I said, you might be feeling like you are 444 going through failure, but 555 says you have to. You have to, so you can see what you had to go through it. Whether it was an abusive relationship, a shitty job, or just a plain situation where you didn't achieve what you wanted to achieve, and it's kind of putting you in a negative mindset, right? But sometimes the best thing that could happen to you is that you do fail, so you can see why you had to succeed for something else. Come on now. And I know it can be frustrating to hear, being like, "Oh, Bree, we're just supposed to be down and out all the time." Not all the time, but you can't always be up and up all the time. You have to have the balance. You have to have the capability of problem solving when you're having a problem. That's why it says write it down. Figure out how you can get through it, but what you're also grateful for while you're going through it, right? One thing that He loves the most, God loves the most, higher selves love the most, is that you can show gratitude no matter what you're going through. No matter what struggle you might be having, no matter what anxieties you might be having, whatever depression you may be going through, knowing that you can still be grateful in those times of low is what really brings you back up to your highest. Because it shows Him, despite whatever you go through, whatever you may be feeling, whatever it is, that you are still grateful, that you are still thankful, that you are still willing to push through those heavy emotions, those extreme obstacles, those trying events, that you didn't give up on being grateful for anything you had, because you knew you were meant to have more. And that is a beautiful thing. And it doesn't mean like on some materialistic thing. It means that having more, you have more space to receive. Having more, you have more space to acknowledge your experience. You have more more capability of understanding that you are also a human who makes mistakes, because that's all we are on this planet. Human, most of us. But when you're not seeing that, and just seeing your failures, and just seeing your shortcomings, and just seeing what you couldn't do or can't do, is hindering your ability to see what you actually have achieved, what you actually have done, what you are allowed to take credit for in your life. And it does you and him a disservice denying yourself those things, denying the capability of being happy, for being grateful for something, even if you feel like it's so small. But it could be the biggest thing to you. It could be the main thing for you. But like I said, when you have other people out here, you know, wanting the best intention for you, but not really connecting with you on what, you know, you may need, it leaves you a little bit lackluster. It leaves you a little bit it leaves you feeling a little bit empty, because again, you haven't been seeing you. You've been seeing you on other people. You've been seeing you in other spaces, but you haven't been seeing you. That little you that says, I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm tired of feeling like I'm not getting anywhere. I'm tired, you know, of pushing through. And you just have to remind them what to be grateful for. What to honor first before anything else. What to give to before anything else. And it is an honest give and take, a reciprocity between your younger self, a version of yourself, your higher self, and your current self. Your current self does a lot of work. Your current self does the most. But that's exactly why your little you is so tired, and it can't really keep up or understand what's happening, because you're always doing. And the angels literally want you to sit down with that little version of you and say, hey, it's time to receive. You've been giving, you've been doing, you've been putting out, which we appreciate. But when you've been doing that, you haven't been appreciating yourself. You haven't been giving to yourself. You haven't been doing for yourself. So because you haven't been doing for yourself, we take it as you being ungrateful. And we know that's not what you're feeling, or how you want to be represented, but you're doing a disservice to yourself, and we don't want you to keep doing that. We don't want you to keep neglecting yourself. We don't want you to keep putting yourself to the side. We don't want that for you. We want you to honor yourself. We want you to see yourself. We want you to hear yourself. We want you to engage with yourself so you can understand why right now it may feel like you have to halt and stop and redo. But it is for your highest good, so we can show you what you're actually meant to receive. But first you have to make sure you give it to yourself, so you can not only trust it, but to hold it, right? Like I said, people might say it's not that deep, it's not that deep. It is that deep. It has always been that deep. That's why people have so many complex emotions towards certain things, are desensitized to certain events in their life, because they were told, you know, I just got through it, so now I'm over it. But there's those triggers that end up coming up. There are those flashbacks that happen. Hey, there are those events in your life that really hit you in a way that you didn't expect to get you down. And again, if you're not in this space to work through that, you are going to feel like you're not succeeding towards the person that you want to be, because you are because you are not seeing the version of you that's exhausted, that is burnt out, that is literally asking you to rest and hear them out and say, hey, I can appreciate the outside sources trying to pray over me, trying to give to me, trying to do all these things for me, but because I am in a space where I'm still trying to figure out what I need, I can't necessarily take that. I can't necessarily honor that. I can't necessarily receive that in the way that they want me to. And that's also a thing that I think people end up having attached to their prayer, is that if you're not receiving it the way that they want you to receive it, then it didn't mean anything. And that's not what we're saying. We're saying that I'm saying that if you're not in the mindset to acknowledge yourself and your experiences, when something comes along to give you or do something for you with a good intention of an experience, it will not always feel good. It will not always feel good, and then it will make you feel a certain type of way. And that's something you have to work through. That's something you have to acknowledge. I literally had this experience yesterday. Like, I felt bad. My friend had to come get me just to come hang out after trying to like do it my own way to get there. And it's because I'm used to feeling bad about people having to go out of their way to do something for me, because I'm not used to people doing anything to go out of their way for them to do it for me. I'm always having to struggle and you know, drudge up like whatever little bit I have to like just do it myself. So like, it's like the second someone says, no, yeah, I can just help you out with that, I want to say no, because it's like, no, I have the ability to do it myself. I have the ability, you know, But that's because that's me telling myself I'm not in the receiving mode to take this kindness. I'm not in the receiving mode to take this good intention, because I feel like something, whether in my past or in my current, is telling me that I'm not allowed to receive this if I'm not doing something else, if I'm not achieving something else, if I'm not being like something else. And it's all just false negative narrative, right? And then when I talk it out, I'm just like, oh, it's ridiculous to think I'm not able to receive aid when I need aid. It's ridiculous to think that I am not allowed to give myself grace when I am down and out. Because like in our head, we tell ourselves that we are sometimes above certain situations, and we're not. We fail to learn lessons, and it's like some way along the way, sometimes we forget that. We feel like our failures are the only thing that show more than anything. But we're not being grateful and acknowledging that we have much more to give than what we fail at, what we don't achieve, what we don't do. And it's just like, well, maybe the thing that we were trying to do was something that we weren't supposed to be doing in the first place. And then that hits a different way. And like 555 says, it's time for upheaval. It's time to take all that negative energy, all those negative thoughts, all the questioning. It's time to take all of that and throw it in the trash and say it's time for better days. It's time for you to acknowledge you are it's time for you to acknowledge that you are allowed to be happy. That you are allowed grace. That you are allowed to mess up in order to succeed somewhere else. You are allowed. But you also have to be in the mindset to receive it. You also have to be in the mindset to understand what that really means. Because if you're in the negative mindset of being like, no, I don't deserve this, no, I shouldn't be getting this, or no, then it'll stop you from even receiving it. And he doesn't want that. He wants you to be open to what he's trying to give you. But you keep telling yourself, no, or I can't, or I shouldn't. And it's like, he's like, well, why not? Why not? Why shouldn't you receive what I'm trying to give you? Why shouldn't you receive what you've been asking for? And it's because you think that you had to show up a certain kind of way, and it's like, no, you weren't showing up for yourself, and because of that, that's why you feel like you're failing. That's why you feel like you're being disconnected. That's why you feel like you're not doing what you want to do or being how you want to be because of all this honestly unnecessary pressure you're putting on yourself. Nice. Ooh. But yeah. So with that, I'm gonna pull some listen bitch cards to enforce this energy of receiving. We're talking about receiving and talking about failure and how moving through failure will actually help you succeed. And that sometimes praying, excuse me, and that sometimes praying over people doesn't necessarily help if they're not in the space to receive it. And it has nothing to do with these people's intentions or what they would wish for you. It just literally is if you're not in the mindset to receive it because you're not receiving it from yourself, then it kind of just falls on deaf ears. Basically. So, I'm gonna pull some, woo, that popped out, slipped right out. So listen, bitch, give yourself the same love you pour out into the world. Come on now. If he ain't speaking, like I said, it's really hard to receive on the outside if you're not receiving it from yourself, if you're not giving it to yourself, if you're not understanding yourself enough on a deeper level than it has felt on the surface. Like I said in the beginning, a lot of people say, oh, it's not that deep, it's not that deep. Yes, it is, and it always has been. That's why we feel so disconnected and feel jaded or feel like we can't really connect the way we want to connect because we're not connecting enough with ourselves. We're trying to build connections with people, places, or things, but in reality, the only people that we need to be connecting with first is ourselves. So listen, bitch, you don't need permission to say no. Fuck them. Yeah. like I said, on the other side of this, there could be people that are throwing doubts at you. Oh, well, you know, I just didn't think that you could accomplish that, or I just thought, you know, and as I was going to say earlier, the praying over thing can be patronizing sometimes, because it's like telling God you don't have the ability to do it for yourself. And he's like, no, you do. You do have the capabilities. That's what I allowed you. Hello. That's what I allowed you to do and give you the time and space to accomplish. But if you've got multiple people around you, like, you know, doing it for you, then how are you going to be able to do it for yourself? How are you going to feel? Confirmation. How are you going to feel connected? Oh, sure. How are you going to feel connected to do it for yourself? You want a reading? Okay. I'll do it outside of the live. How about that? Because this is a collective energy right now because I'm talking to everyone. So if you want a personal reading, we can do it outside of the live, for sure. But yeah, this energy isn't to shun those who are meaning well. No, I'm saying I would prefer to do it outside of the live, because this is a collective reading, and if you want a personal reading, I'm gonna have to do it just one-on-one. Does that make sense? I want the people to hear what they need to hear, and then have you hear what you need to hear on your end. I'm basically saying I don't want to mix up the energies. But yeah, so these people who might have good intentions when they pray for you, pray, you know, all that stuff for you. Oh, I was saying that. Okay, you got it? Okay, cool. I don't like repeating myself. Yeah, exactly. Because this is for everyone. So if you want it personal, I would like to take it to the side of that. You're making me lose train of thought. Hang on. If you have people praying for you, they may have good intentions, yes, but you're receiving their energy, not your own energy. You need to rely on your own energy at this time, because you've been so disconnected from yourself that you're not feeling like you're receiving what you're putting out. Does that make sense? Like it says, give yourself the same love you pour out into the world. And you may be feeling disconnected from even receiving that love because you haven't been giving it to yourself. And it's not necessarily the people's fault around you. It's, you have to acknowledge and say, dang, I might have to work with my shortcomings in order to see my failures so I can have the success and the results that I would like. And that's why I say space is important. Like I said, sometimes being around many people during the holidays, whatever it may be, you may feel like you have to show up in a certain kind of way. That can be draining because you're honestly just disconnected, and that has nothing to do with these people necessarily, but sometimes everything to do with ourselves. So listen, bitch, your pets think you are the queen, and your pet is right. Yeah. You got that one the other day. It's really cute. Oh, sorry guys. Like 555 said, upheaval. 444 said, try again. You have to move through these emotions and this whirlwind of negative thinking that tells you, well, I don't have the accomplishments right now. I don't have the rewards right now. I don't have. And you need to stop saying what you don't have. You need to start saying what you're grateful for. You need to start saying what you're thankful for. You need to start saying what you're ready to receive, because you keep saying, I don't have, then you're not going to have it. You're not going to have it. And that doesn't mean God's saying you're not allowed to. You're telling yourself you're not ready to receive it. Okay? Look at that. On the bottom of the deck. Your opinions aren't tattoos. You can change them anytime. Okay? You can change your opinion anytime. You thought one way, guess what? You can think another way today, and that can change your whole mindset. So. And then we're going to pull some tarot for a bit and see what Spirit would like us to know. See what's going on. Angel spirits and guides, what would you like the collective to know today? What would you like them to know? Oh, okay. We have the Eight of Pentacles and we have Judgment. So, upright, diligence, passion, high standards, apprenticeship, mastery, skill development, repetitive tasks. Yeah, like I said, with 444, it was literally saying take a class. What is it that you feel like you need to learn? And when you keep doing this thing, understand that you'll get better at doing the thing, right? With your due diligence, your high standards. One thing about failure is it's our biggest. And I feel like it's our biggest gateway to learning the best things that help us succeed. We avoid it so much. Oh, I don't want to fail. I don't want to look like this. I don't want to look like that. And to be honest, you're being critical of the abilities that you could have if you let the failure happen and then move away from it and then do another thing or try again at that thing or go away about it a different way, whatever it may be. You are allowed to fail. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to redo. But if you're not allowing yourself to do that because you're scared of it, is exactly why you'll be halted, I almost said stunted, but halted, stunted, you feel like you won't grow, you feel like you're going to be going in circles, like you're going to be in a loop. Those repetitive tasks that you're doing some of them might not be what you need to be doing. Sometimes you might have to break it up and figure out what works and what doesn't. Right? We have Judgment. Upright. Judgment. Rebirth. Inner calling. A new phase. Absolution. Reckoning. Awakening. Redemption. Forgiveness and mercy. Yes. Like I said, judgment has been called in this situation. And whether this is judgment from someone else or this is judgment from the Most High, you have to give yourself the forgiveness that you need to understand why you're going through what you're going through. Like I said yesterday, I had to tell myself it is not bad to receive when I know, one, I may be down and out, when I feel like I may be failing, because I can understand that it happens, that events might not be as, what am I trying to say? That events might not be as fluid as I would like them to be. But that's also talking in control, right? And we cannot control the outcomes of things. We can predict, we can assess, but we can't control the outcome of things. And that's one thing that I think as humans we have a hard time with. And that's why we get so scared of failure, because we think if we fail at something, then we will never be able to succeed at something else. And that's not true. It just is a redirection for something else. Like they say, rejection is the best protection to redirection. Okay? Ooh, someone's wearing a lot of cologne. I don't know, I just got a whiff of like heavy man cologne. Woo! What else would you like on the nose, Spirit? What else would you like them to know? Okay. You see that fly out. We got the King of Cups upright. Creativity, romantic, charm, imagination, beauty, knight in shining armor. Following the heart. Prince Charming. Proposals. Okay. Like I said, you may be feeling like I said before, you may be going through an abusive relationship. And you may feel like leaving that situation, that'll be the only situation that you'll ever know to have. Not true. Not true, not valid. Your experience in that situation is valid. But to tell yourself, I only deserve abuse, I only know how to deal with abuse, is stunting your growth to receive this romantic offer, this even opening your own imagination to what that could be. You're doing yourself such a disservice by dwelling on what you could not change instead of focusing on what you can change. Right? Hello, thank you for joining. You're not allowing yourself to be open to the creative processes and abilities that you have within yourself because, excuse me, confirmation, because you've been so, excuse me, focused on and passionate about the other things that you failed about, that you weren't accomplishing, that you were working hard towards. And that's okay to work hard towards something that you're passionate about completely. But like I said, you do yourself a disservice if you're not in the mode to receive something even better. Right? So, rebirth, judgment. Hammer has been conked. And you're being removed from this failure of a situation to show you what you are meant to really receive, what you're meant to really be indulged in, what your creativity really brings out in you, right? And you're gonna end up receiving some happy proposals and good things, and maybe even a spouse after. But things like that take time. We have, oh, look at that. I ain't just talking to talk, okay? We have the Four of Wands, celebration, joy, harmony, marriage, home, community, homecoming. Yeah. Right after that, Knight of Cups. You've been working very hard to meet the other part of you, right? Like I said, there's a version of you who you are with other people, and there's a version of you that you are with yourself. These two versions are trying to come together. The version of you who is you is trying to show the version of you who you are with other people that you need to celebrate yourself, that you need to kind of not how am I trying to say this? The version of you who you are with yourself is trying to tell the version of you who you are with other people that the version of you who you are with yourself is also meant to be celebrated, because the version of you who you are with other people is just that, who you are with other people. Not to say you're false or you're deceiving others or that you are putting on a show for others. It's that you're masking who you really... Sorry. I'm like, what? That plane looks weird. Probably a personal plane. Sorry, I got distracted. Maybe you could be getting distracted during this moment. But yes, the version of you wants you to kind of disconnect from the version of you are with people. Because that's a person of service, right? That's a person of giving. When in reality, you need to be a person right now of receiving. And you might not know how to do that because you haven't connected to the version of you who is you with yourself. And it's because you haven't... It's kind of like the version of you who you... It sounds like I'm going in circles, but I'm not. Trust me, I'm not. The person who you are with other people needs to be the same person who gives to the version of you who you are with yourself. Because that's where you're feeling disconnected. You've been giving and giving and giving and doing outwardly, that you're not really receiving the results, the energy, the praise, the grace that you would like to deeply enough, because you're not giving it to yourself. It has nothing to do with anyone else outside of you. It's literally you're neglecting yourself in a manner that is telling you, hey, we love you and we appreciate you for giving and giving and giving, but because you've been giving and giving and giving, you haven't been giving to yourself enough. And that's why you're feeling disconnected and feeling like whatever you do receive isn't exactly what you feel like you need, because you haven't been giving it to yourself. You haven't been doing it for yourself. You haven't been honoring yourself. You haven't been giving grace to yourself. So now we're trying to show you through versions of other people what you need to be giving to yourself so you can give back to them, to the cause, to whatever it may be, to your project, to your creativity, to your, what does it say, following your heart. You need to really engage of that part with yourself and be honest. What do you want? What do you need? What does that look like? And what does that feel like? Because when you're giving it to other people thinking that's what they need, which is great and grand, you're not giving to yourself about what you need, right? And it's self-neglect is so unintentional. We don't talk about it enough. We have Queen of Wands upright, courage, confident, independence, focus, zest for life, determination, and joy. Joy again, yes. Like I said, you may be very like on the fence about the decisions you have made if they don't show the results that you need or want, that you feel like you're failing. But you have to fail in order to see what you're able to succeed at. But you cannot do that if you're not giving yourself the grace during this time of failure, during this time of need, during this time of I almost said despair. You might be going through it, you know? You might be really having to go through it. But you are still capable of having the ability to move through that emotion and move through that feeling of failure. Just because you are not seeing the results today does not mean that they will not show up tomorrow, the next week, whatever it may be for you. We want everything so snappy, but you're not giving yourself enough time to process everything. That's why it might seem overwhelming, why it might seem like it's too much, why you might feel like you're not feeling honored enough to even have it. It's because you told yourself you didn't deserve it, that you were asking for too much, that you weren't meant to have it, that even praying for it was beyond your means to maintain. And again, if you keep putting yourself in those negative mindsets, yes, then that will be the result. Then you will keep feeling like you're failing. You will keep feeling like you are not accomplishing anything. But it's because you're also not acknowledging what you already have and what to be grateful for. The little things matter. They really do. And I don't know about you, but I'm very much of a little things matter to me. Like I said, I got overwhelmed yesterday just having a friend come get me when I was trying to have the ability on my own to go where I needed to go for myself. And they were just, no, it's not a big deal. And like to me, I was like, no, it's like a huge deal because I know what I can do, and if I'm not doing it, then I feel like I'm failing. Is that energy? Cool, it's amazing that we know as people in ourselves what we can do, but we also need to know what we can't do. Thank you. We also need to know what we need. Whoa. Sorry. Whoa. No pen and paper, but you're... Thanks. That's a good pickup line. But sorry for dropping you. But what was it saying? Yeah, if you're feeling like I know what I can do, and if I'm not doing that thing, then I'm failing at the thing that I need to be doing. It's like, yes, you may be, but that does not mean you are completely washed up, that you're completely down and out, that you're completely like unable to achieve more things. It just means that you weren't able to do that one thing. My accent? Sure. Oh, okay, got you. I am from the Midwest, so that probably will make sense why I might have an accent to you. Oh. But like I said, Queen of Wands, you have the courage, the independence, the confidence, and the focus, and the determination to get through these emotions. Oh, thank you. Same to you. Wish you a Merry Christmas. Anything else you'd like them to know? And the 5 L's. Oh, you see that flip out? Oh, and look at that on the bottom of the deck. Oh, look at that on the bottom of the deck. Look at that on the bottom of the deck, bitch. Oh shit, okay. Sorry, I got excited. Oh, and the Tower, sudden change. Yes, like I said, you may be feeling like whatever you're going through is the end of the world. To an extent, it's not. Sometimes you have to fall to see how fast you can get back up. How hard you're willing to work through it to get to it, right? Determination, drive, courage, confidence, diligence, passion, high standards, skill development. You might feel like everything is crashing down, and sometimes it has to. Temperance, meaning patience, meaning hold on a second and assess the problem. Balance, harmony, moderation, patience again. Patience, patience, patience. Being sensible, purpose, finding meaning. Yeah. You have been looking for purpose. You have been looking for meaning. You have been looking for these things, but you've been looking for it outside of you. You have to be looking inward. You have to be really assessing what is having an accomplishment to me really mean? And is it something that I know I want, or is it something I feel like I should have? That's two different things. Having something that you feel like you should have versus something that you want. And that's where I think that's where the failure happens, is when you feel like you should have something, you don't get it. But when you want it, you will receive it. We have the Sun upright. Positivity, pleasure, happiness, vitality, fun, joy, again with the joy. Warmth, celebration, success, rebirth, again, all is well. Whoops, 1 second. Yeah, the Sun. Like I said, despite this tower that you're going through, despite this failure you might be experiencing, you have to go through it to see what you really are supposed to have, to see what you are really meant to achieve, to see what you are really, what the results of your work were meant to manifest. Not what you thought they should have been, but what you wanted them to be. Two different things. Then we have the we have the Eight of Cups upright. Disappointment, abandonment, withdrawal, escapism, walking away, leaving behind. Yeah. Like I said, you may feel like through the failure that you're this, that you're that, whatever it may be. But you're really just leaving a chapter behind. You're leaving a cycle behind. You're ending something that needed to be ended a while ago for you to see something completely different. And that is your capabilities, your strength, your determination, your creativity, your passion. You haven't been seeing it the way you want to see it because you've been putting it into something that you thought you should have versus what you want. And it sounds like it's the same thing. It's not. Two different things. Something that you should have versus something that you want. Two different things. We have the Queen of Swords. A lot of Queen energy. Queen of Swords on the bottom of the deck. Unbiased judgment. Independent. Clear boundaries. Direct communication. Clear-minded. Perspective. Yeah. That's your guides talking to you. They said, now that you understand or understanding what it is we're trying to say, what it is that we're trying to do for you, this push and pull that you keep giving us is exactly why you've been holding up yourself. You've been stunting the growth that we've been trying to bestow upon you. Now we're trying to clear your sight and clear your mind and let you know it's not over the way you think it's over. It just means this chapter is done. You've done the work. You've completed the cycle. There's no need to be in this loop of feeling less than or feeling like you cannot accomplish anything outside of your failures, whatever it may be for you. Take it as it resonates, and every situation will be your situation. But they're literally saying, you've been independent, you've been striving, you've been working hard, but you've been doing it kind of for the wrong reasons, because you haven't been doing it for what you want to do it for. You've been doing it for what you think you should be doing it for. Whether it's for someone else, whether it's for a job, whether it's for a home, whether it's for a relationship, and it's not serving you anymore. The chapter is done. The book has been closed. And we've been asking you, let's move along. We're going to have to go through a tower. There's going to be a sudden change. There's going to be upheaval. And it might feel rocky. But it has to happen. So you can see the results we are trying to give you. So you can see why we are doing what we are doing for your highest good. It may not be what you would have liked it to be, but it is what you are going to want it to be. Does that make sense? Oh, you see that flip out? We have the lovers. Stop. A lot of love energy. A lot of love energy. A lot of love energy. Whether this is, well, it said romantic earlier, Prince Charming. So, love, harmony, relationships, union, partnerships, sexuality, passion, values, alignment, deep love, a choice, the strength of two together. Yes. Like I said, you could be going through an abusive relationship with someone, family, lover, friend, whatever it may be. You could be going through a job that doesn't appreciate you the way you like to be appreciated. You could be living in a home that is not, to your standards. And you want to move along, but you feel like if you do so, you are failing. You are feeling disappointed. You are feeling withdrawn. You are feeling like you just have to just walk away. And literally, it's okay to do that. It does not define your failures. Do not define your success. Understand that. Literally understand that deeply. Hear it. Your failures do not define your success. They are walking milestones for you to recognize why you should succeed, why you are being able to receive these things that they're trying to give you. It's all good shit. I'm telling you, it's all good shit. But you might have to get a little scuffled up in order to see it, in order to receive it, in order to honestly understand it. But it's all good things. Anything else? We have Three of Swords reversed, negative self-talk, releasing pain, forgiveness again, optimism, recovery, and moving on. Yeah. Like I said, you might be feeling disappointed. You might be feeling like a failure. You might be feeling unaccomplished. And you're gonna probably say whatever you say to yourself. That's okay. Literally says releasing pain. Feel it and let it go. It does not serve you. Dwelling on yourself, calling yourself any names, telling yourself what you coulda, woulda, shoulda did, it doesn't help. It will not help you. It will stunt you. You have to forgive yourself. Forgiveness came out twice in this reading. Forgive yourself for what you do not know and do better so you can be better. That's all you're being asked to do. So recover and move on. You're allowed to move on. You're allowed to be happy. You're allowed these things, but you have to be able to receive these things. If you're not open to receive it, then you will not get it. There's a difference between, I keep saying it again, there's a difference between what you think you should have versus what you want. And what you want is way greater than what you thought you should have had. You see the way they usually flipping out of here? We got the Fool, upright, new beginnings, possibilities, innocence, spontaneous, optimism again. There's a lot of repeating words in these readings today. Trust in life, blind faith, adventure, opportunity, and pleasure. Yeah. You might feel, and that's what I was saying earlier with the listen bitch cards. People, you don't need permission. You don't need permission to leave a situation you're ready to leave. You don't need permission to move on. You don't need permission to recover. Your new beginnings are already here. You have to just be open to receiving it. You have to, I keep saying you have to. You don't have to do anything, honestly. You don't have to do anything. This is all just a recommendation in my eyes. But the spirits are like, if you want to get along through this failure to your success, you're gonna have to have this tower. You're gonna have to have this upheaval. You're gonna have to go through change. You're gonna have to be willing to grit your teeth and say, yeah, you're right. I wasn't ready. Yeah, you're right. I thought I had it together. Yeah, you're right. And this isn't saying to people, this is saying to God. You're right. You were trying to show me the entire time. I was putting out into a person, place, or thing that not only was not giving to me, but was taking everything I had. And was telling me that I was not doing enough. So I felt like I had to do more and more and more and more. But then when I was doing that, I wasn't giving to myself. I was neglecting myself. I wasn't being honest with myself. I wasn't being open and vulnerable with myself. I was putting myself in this negative talk. I was putting myself down. I was putting myself in despair because I felt like if I wasn't achieving what they wanted me to achieve, then I was nothing. And that is never true. Never, ever true. People do not define your worth. You do. And I'll say it again. People do not define your worth or your value. You do. What you value within yourself is what is important. What you feel like your worth is important. People might say you might have high standards. Well, those are the people who are incapable of holding you when your standards are high. And when I say high standards, I don't mean on some prissy stuff. I mean literally, you know what you want out of a relationship, out of a job, out of a career. And if something isn't hitting the way that you would like it to, it doesn't always mean, again, that failure is bad. It's just showing you that the thing you're trying to go for wasn't meant for you. That situation that you were in fear of losing is exactly why you lose it, so you can see what is meant for you. It is hard to have that realization sometimes. Because we think very deeply that if I just do this, if I just act like that, if I just put in all my all like this, but you're not understanding, you're trying to control the situation. You're trying to control the outcome. You don't have that ability. That's his works. All he wants you to do is listen and follow along. That's it. You just listen and follow along. Take his hand and say, hey, where are we going? What else would you like them to know? I can't even finish the sentence. We have the Four of Cups reversed. Sudden awareness. Choosing happiness, acceptance, retreat, withdrawal, checking in for realignment. Yeah. Like I said, through this upheaval, you might understand a lot that you didn't even think that you would know about yourself. And it really does put you in a space where you have to just sit for a second and recognize, dang, you know what? I didn't think I had it together like I thought. I didn't think I would be in this space where I would treat myself this way for someone else, something else, somewhere else. And I have to accept that was the result of what happened. Ooh, excuse me. Hey, excuse me. I have to accept that. And take a step back and realign myself for a second. Like I said, checking in for realignment. You're tuning yourself out to your frequency, really. Because you've been doing and doing and doing for so many things outside of yourself that you were forgetting what you needed. That you were forgetting why you even were doing what you were doing. You were just going and going and going. And I can resonate with that. I can. But now that you're aware, or becoming aware, and recognizing, slowly but surely, of what you want versus what you think you should have are two different things. And it can be devastating for some to have these realizations because you feel like you wasted time, you feel like you wasted effort, you feel like you wasted resources, and that's where you feel like you may fail. But like I said, you cannot have failure without, or you cannot have success without having failure. You can't just skate through life with everything going your way every single time. That's not how it works. You have to learn from these failures and mistakes to understand how to do better. I always say it, and I don't know how to do better. I don't know how to be better unless I do better. I don't know how to be better unless I do better. I don't know how to have a new beginning if I'm not willing to have an end. And this chapter, like I said, has closed. This cycle has ended. We are coming up into a new era very, very soon. And you have to accept that. You have to accept the people, places, or things that you wanted to be with you, that you wanted to strive with, that you wanted to grow with, may not be the people who you actually were supposed to be doing that with. But instead, somebody, something, or something else completely different. 10-10 on the timer. Meaning, we've been seeing this a lot this week. Right place, right time. The people who are around you are there to encourage you. I need you to sit with that for a minute with me. Right place, right time. Despite what you may feel it is. whether you feel in despair about this failure, whether you feel like life is ending around this failure. In a way it is, and you're allowed to grieve that, but don't let it hold you back from what you're meant to have. Because everything out here has been mostly upright. I think I've only gotten like 2 reversals out of this. We're so scared of change because we don't know where it's going to take us. But being spontaneous, like the Fool says, trusting in life, you will end up going places you didn't even think you wanted to go. Now imagine that for a second. Going places you didn't think you wanted to go? Whoa. What else would they like? I'm telling you, they just be flipping out of here. Alright, we have the 8 of Wands reverse. Delays, frustration, holding off, waiting, panic, slow down. This could be your energy or someone who wants you to slow down. You've been, like I said, you've been feeling like you've probably been even holding yourself in some situations because you feel like you're not ready for something yet. There is never a right time. Right now is the right time. Right now. There's no perfect timing out here. There's no such thing as perfect timing. You do it right now or you don't do it at all. It just is what it is. You can't keep delaying yourself, waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for something to give you a sign, for you to do something else. You've had the signs. You haven't been seeing the signs. You've been ignoring the signs. You haven't been acknowledging the signs because you haven't been acknowledging your wants and your needs. You've just been giving and doing and being other for others and not for yourself enough. It's okay to be upset. Those feelings are valid, but also take accountability for you being a part of the process, about slowing yourself down, about keeping yourself stagnant, about keeping yourself in this gridlock with yourself, saying, well, if I'm not doing this, it's not enough. If I'm not being like that, it's not enough. If I'm not, stop. Because you are, and you have been. You just gotta see it. You gotta see it. And no one can make you see that. You literally have to see it. You have to see the results that you want within yourself because that is your job. People can praise you all day. People can honor you all day. But you won't be able to receive it if you are not willing to receive it from yourself first. But you know, like I said, with this Tower, you may be panicking, or maybe these are this other people. But like I said, I feel like it's just mostly, you know, we have the Ace of Pentacles upright. Abundance, manifestation, opportunity, new career or financial opportunity, new venture, prosperity. Yeah. God's been holding this blessing this entire time. And either these people outside of you have been trying to delay it, or it has been your own mindset trying to delay it. You have to listen. Split the deck. We have the 6 of Pentacles upright, giving, receiving, sharing wealth, generosity, charity, and sharing. Yeah. He's been trying to give you this gift. He's been trying. Someone may be holding on to past resentments. This could be you. Because I say that because the 5 of Swords is right under that. Oh, and we have the High Priestess reversed. Okay, so we know who it is. Someone's been having secrets. Someone's been hiding harm. Hidden agenda. Disconnection from intuition. Withdrawal. Silence. Selfish. Shallowness. Ignorance. Misunderstanding. Yeah. Okay. Someone has joined the chat. Collective. And it is High Priestess in reverse. Past resentments, delays, frustration, holding off, waiting, panic, and slow down. They don't want you to progress. They don't want this chapter to be over, but it's already been over. It's been over and it's been done. They want to keep projecting what they feel like is their failure onto you to make it seem like you have not achieved anything, to make it feel like, and this, again, this could be someone connected to you or someone connected to someone else connected to you. There's a lot of meshing going on and I wish it would stop. But like I said in the beginning of this reading, most of these cards were upright. You've been in giving and receiving mode. You have been sharing, you have been generous, but you have not been seeing the results of this. You have not been feeling the accomplishments of this, and it's because of this person, because of this place, people, or thing, this High Priestess in reverse that has been holding secrets, has been holding harm, has been having a hidden agenda and been disconnected, not only from themselves, but from you, from God, and telling you that it's you. Hello, thank you. Like, the projection is so heavy, and it's like, I can see why you would feel how you feel. I can understand that. If this is a parent, ooh, sorry, my jaw, a little bit of TMJ. Maybe you've been clenching your teeth a lot. But this person holding on to these resentments have nothing to do with you, and they have had nothing to do with you. Whatever their qualms are about whatever they're holding up about has nothing to do with you. But they feel like because you're not giving to them, or you're not doing for them, or you're not acting like how you should be acting with them, you're not being of service to them, that you are just not who you say you are. That's not true. That sounds like a user to me. And I've met plenty of those in my life. Whether it energetically, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And you just have to move on from this person. You have to let them go if you're still holding on to them. Like I said, abusive relationship, family, friend, lover. It feels mostly like family because I can resonate with that a lot. Maybe they're the ones having this sudden awareness that they need to check themselves, because you've been doing what you can, as much as you can, as hard as you can. But again, because you don't see the results, you don't feel the accomplishment, that's exactly what they want. That's what they want. That's what they want. They want you to feel like the energy they're in. That they're not good enough, so you're not good enough. That they haven't achieved anything, so you can't achieve anything. It's all projection. And it's not true to your reality, because they're the ones keeping secrets. They're the ones, you see them trying to fuck up with my throat. They're the ones keeping secrets. They're the ones being selfish when you've just been giving and giving and giving, even when you don't have anything. And that says more than anything right there. All right. Anything else you'd like them to know from the tarot? Because I was gonna pull some daily affirmations after this. Okay. I love the way they flip out. We have the Two of Wands, upright, planning, progress, making decisions, discovery, leaving home, travel plans. Yeah, you're going places. You're going places. And they're trying to slow it down. They're trying to delay it. That's why they're panicking. You're going places. And they don't want you to go, because when you go, it leaves them with nothing. Now they have a desire to make amends. Now they have a desire to forgive you for what you did, leaving them in dry. No, there's nothing you have to do for an abusive person to make them feel better about the abuse that they caused onto you. That's narcissistic behavior. You don't have to apologize for moving on. You don't have to apologize for traveling. You don't have to apologize for living your life when it is your life to live. You don't have to apologize for any of that. They're the ones holding on this past resentment. They're the ones holding on to this energy. They're the ones trying to put you in negative thoughts, telling you you're bad because you don't give to them, but you give to everybody else. You're bad because you do for everybody else, but you don't do for me. You're bad, you're bad, you're bad. And it's not true. Because when you gave to them, they took advantage of you and abused their power. They abused their position in your life. They abused you, but they want you to forgive them now, so it will make them feel better about what they did. Do not give it to them. You can forgive them from afar. You can. And I've said this to my mother, that I do not blame her for not knowing how to do better, but I do blame her for not being better. And that I can forgive her for myself, but whatever she does not forgive of herself is not my problem. And if you've been on my page, you can understand why I've cut off contact from my whole family. There has been crime, there has been covered up abuse, and that's where the secrets come in, that's where the harm comes in, that's where the hidden agenda comes in. She really didn't want people to know the kind of person she was, even though she pretends to be a certain kind of person she isn't. So that desire to make amends, it isn't to heal this connection. It is to save face in front of other people. Because it's about to be the holidays. And how does it look when your kids don't even like you? You know? How does that look to everybody else in the world? It looks pretty shitty, right? And I'm sure it does feel shitty, but again, she made her choices, so you reap what you sow. We have Two of Pentacles upright, multiple priorities, time management, adaptability, balancing decisions. Yeah, this is you, collective. This is us. You've been juggling your entire life. How should I be? How should I act? What should I do? What does that look like? Never what you wanted, because you're always doing for somebody else. You're always having to perform, juggle, right? For somebody else. Handling multiple priorities, figuring out how you need to show up, what time you need to be on. But in reality, you're on your own time. There's no rush to any of this for you. There shouldn't be. No one should be rushing you to do anything. I hate being rushed. If anything, I hate it. Because why are you rushing me? Where are we going? What's happening? Maybe you're feeling rushed out of the situation. Maybe that's why that tower is a sudden change. But it's just really pushing you out of the abusive chapter that was meant to be ended a long time ago. That's all it is. Anything? I didn't even finish my sentence. Three of Pentacles reversed. Disharmony, misalignment, working alone, lack of teamwork, disorganized, group conflict. Yeah, that's this High Priestess in reverse energy. There's no harmony there. There's no alignment there. They will be working alone, and there will be conflict with whoever they have decided to come together with to come against you. That's why they're trying to slow it down for you, to make you feel like you're not doing what you are supposed to be doing for yourself. Oh, excuse me, confirmation. To make you feel like you're the one who is in the wrong of making the decision that you decided to make, because you're not seeing the results, that you're not feeling the growth, that you're not receiving what you're meant to receive, but you are. You are. You are. And you will. You just have to trust yourself that this energy outside of you does not dictate your movement. This energy outside of you does not dictate your life choices. That this energy outside of you does not rule your life, nor does it have any control over your life. It is this person's projections of what they want to reflect onto you, because they were not able to do what they wanted to do, because they felt like you were in the way. And it might be sad to hear. You know, how could my parent feel that way about me? How could my family feel that way about me? How could my friend, how could my partner feel that way? And it's because they're not healed. They have been projecting and deflecting onto you because they have not healed through their trauma. They have not healed through their pain. They have not grown through their experiences, through their failures. Blamed everybody else for why what happened to them, but never took accountability for their involvement, for their engagement, for their persuasions of these other people around them. And they didn't care about who they had to sacrifice just to get you out of the way. They did not. Trust me, she did not. She did not care. She did not care. And she doesn't care as long as you're out of the way. And that's why God puts you in the forefront. Because you want me to be in the way, I'll be in the way. Anything else you want them to know? Ooh, the Wheel of Fortune was about to come out, but we're going to keep shuffling on that. Anything else you want them to know, Spirit? And I'm going to take this as it resonates. Not every message will be your message, but I will say it's hitting home a bit. Anything else you would like them to know, Spirit? We have the Knight of Wands, upright. Energy, passionate, inspired action. Adventure, fearlessness, impulsiveness. Again with the Knight energy. This could be your energy or someone coming towards you. Like, dun da da da. If this is someone connected to this High Priestess reverse, I suggest you hear them out. You might not know if you can trust them off the bat. I will say that much. But you are meant to hear them out on something. What about this Knight of Wands, Spirit? they someone that is here to bring good news, or are they here to hinder us? What about this Nine of Wands? Oh. Ooh. I only got 3 cards out of that. Alright, well, the first one that fell down was the Nine of Wands. Courage. Upright, sorry. Courage, persistence, test of faith, resilience, boundaries, last stand, gearing up for worst, pessimism? Pessimism? Weary. Okay, so this Knight of Wands energy could be like on this last stand, trying to get your attention. We have the Moon, upright, illusions, mystery, dreams, intuition, fear, anxiety, subconscious, premonitions. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles reversed, self-worth, hustling, living beyond means, obsession with work, false success. Okay. So when I asked about this Knight of Wands, we had the illusion card, self-worth card, but then coming up with courage. So this person could have been or is connected to this High Priestess reverse. They were in an illusion about something that they were saying or doing. They were obsessively working on something with not having any success of taking you out, mind you, whatever it may be in whatever way. And they're tired. They are tired and tired and tired. Their faith has been tested over and over and over again, not wondering why whatever they're doing towards you hasn't been working. And it's because this person lied to them. The illusion, the mystery, the fear, the anxiety that they have been casting over this person. If you do this, it'll be this for you. If you do that, it'll be that for you. So they just never came forward. But they are obsessively working beyond their means, living beyond their means, questioning their self-worth. Because of whatever they casted onto them. What does this have to do with the collective spirit? What does this Knight of Wands have to do with the collective? Oh, okay. Wheel of Fortune, upright. See, I told you it'd come out later. Good luck. Karma, life cycles, destiny, turning point, change, inevitable, okay, it's a hard word to say, inevitable fate, ups and downs, unpredictable. Yeah. Okay. So they could have been the ones balancing these decisions, not just you. They said, well, I don't know which way to go because she's been saying that, but I've been looking at it and it's like this, so I don't even know what's real anymore. Kind of energy. Like they haven't been seeing anything. They haven't been seeing you, collective, clearly. They haven't been seeing you clearly. But now they are. Now they do. And this High Priestess couldn't predict that. Karma life cycles, like I said, chapter has been ended. Been done. But because you weren't seeing the results, you weren't feeling that love and support you were supposed to be receiving, that Ace of Pentacles that literally had been holding its hand out to give to you the entire time because they've been putting on delay because they've been manipulating this person, is exactly why confirmation. is exactly why you're about to get dead smacked in the face with everything you're about to receive. And I'm gonna leave it right there with the tarot. I feel pretty good about that. And take it as it resonates. Not every situation will be your situation. But it's good news. Again, it might feel like you're going through it. It may feel like, you know, it's like, you know, the end of something devastating, and it could be to an extent, but it's supposed to bring you somewhere else. And this High Priestess reversed, whatever this energy has been around you, mother figure, whatever it may be, has been really trying to stop your progress, or stopping people from really seeing who you are, because they're not who they say they are. So, but it's kind of, one song that keeps popping on my TikTok every time I try to add something is "a little too late." It's a little too late for them to block people from seeing who you are. You're out in the open. It's kind of hard to go like that every time over people's faces they see you. So, and I know it has been frustrating if you're not seeing, like I said, the results, if you're feeling like you're failing. Just keep trying again. Just keep going. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Swimming. So we're gonna pull some daily affirmations. Whoa. These ones are a little bit bigger. We're gonna pull some daily affirmations for you to see what Spirit would like you to know. Keep your vibes up. Whoa. Oh, whoa. Oh. We have spiritual health. I feel God's presence in my life. Amen. Period. Despite what people, places, or things might have been saying about you, God has been there. He said, no. Whatever they said, no. Look it. Okay, you see it? Okay, cool. No, take that. Feel it. And allow it to show up. Receive it. It's not too good to be true. People are really real out here. Not everybody's fake. Not everybody's trying to get you. Not everybody's trying to do all this weird shit to you because they did. Okay? We put real people in real spaces. Right place, right time. Allow it to show up for you the way it's supposed to show up for you. Because if you feel it, I feel it. And if he feels it, it's the truth. Relationships. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I honor and protect my sensitivity. And see little umbrellas. Yeah. Oh my god, that one really got stuck. Sorry. Ugh. Someone's talking about me. But anyways. So yeah, I feel God's presence in my life, and I have honor and protect my sensitivity. One thing I will say, my mom said about me was, oh, you're too sensitive. No. To an extent, yes. In the spiritual sense, yes. In the emotional sense, yes. But it's for a reason. To catch weird shit like abuse, underhanded remarks, and neglectful behavior. When you can do that, you start spotting it in other aspects of your relationships, friendships, job, whatever it may be. So you can keep yourself safe from those energies, from those deceivers, from those abusive people. And it's more of abusive behavior than it is the people. People act out how they act out because they are not healed. And some people really don't care what they do to you because they think it's justified because of what happened to them. It's never justified that way. She was that kind of person. Because it happened to her, it had to happen to me. Because it happened to her, it had to happen to me. It did not have to happen. But she made it so. And because she tried to make it so much, is exactly why it's about to blow up in her fucking face. For multiple reasons. And all these unfortunate people who decided to team up with her because of what she said, did, paid, bribed, whatever it was. And it's not for you to worry about. It's not for you to solve. It is not for you to help them through. But there is a person who is here to help you. There is someone, some people, place or thing here to help you because now they see the deception, the secrets, the harm, the cover-ups, whatever it was that she was trying to conceal has already been out in the open because we are here, I am alive. Spiritual health. I trust in the perfection of divine timing and allow my life to unfold as it should. And I think I'm gonna leave it there. This isn't just a message from me. It's a message for me to be a message for you. No matter the trials and tribulations someone has put you through, it does not define you as a person. No matter the trials and tribulations that you had to escape from defines you as a person. You are who you are. And you are just being asked to keep being that person. But better as you go along. You know better, you do better. Now that you know how to do better, you can be better for yourself. She didn't understand that. It was, this happened to me, so it has to happen to you. And it never should have. We don't repeat cycles here. We break them. We dead it. We have to. Otherwise, we're going to keep being unhealed. Otherwise, we're going to keep being angry. Otherwise, we're not going to see the potential that we really have when it comes to keeping the faith and having God in our life. This is someone who rejected him over and over and over again. And I know that. She would literally say it. But me, I'm not her. Never was hers to be her. But that's a whole other story that I'm still trying to figure out. But right now, we're just chilling. I hope this helps. I hope that you take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Not every situation will be your situation. Like I said, despite whatever you might be going through, it does not define you. Sometimes we have to fail in order to succeed through the things that we need to go through. And I trust that you will be able to do that. Because you've gotten this far. You can't just give up now. I love you. And I'm gonna leave it here. Don't get scammed. Only Patreon, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. I don't reach out. Leave a like, or a follow, or subscribe. I love you. Have a good day.